How's it going, everyone? It's Ben Foggins, Media Corner, back again with a brand new video for today. Welcome back to another movie review, aka After I Saw. This time for this new episode for this series is going to be my review on the 2024 epic sci-fi drama film, and that is Megalopolis. This was written and directed by the legendary filmmaker himself, Francis Ford Coppola, of course the man behind the Godfather trilogy and Apocalypse Now, amongst other movies he has crafted over the years as a filmmaker. And in this film, a conflict between Caesar, who's played by Adam Driver, whom he's a genius artist, and he's seeking to leap into a utopian idealistic future, and his opposition, who is Mayor Franklin Cicero, who's played by Giancarlo Esposito, who remains committed to a regressive status quo, perpetuating greed, special interests, and partisan warfare. So that's pretty much the story of Megalopolis. When it comes to Francis Ford Coppola as a filmmaker, he is definitely one of my all-time favorite filmmakers, and I pretty much enjoyed a handful of his movies that are considered to be just absolute classics and yet just masterpieces as well, like the Godfather trilogy, while excluding Part 3 because Part 3 just wasn't really as spectacular like the first two movies, even though we did get a director's cut of that film just a few years back. And he was also the director of one of my all-time favorite Vietnam War films, which is, of course, Apocalypse Now. And it is still fascinating to see that he is still making movies to this day here. Just like with Martin Scorsese, he still manages to make movies to this day here. And most of the movies he's made in recent years have just been pretty much hit after hit after hit. And so when I heard that Francis Ford Coppola was going to be making a new movie here, which was this one, I was actually really excited to see what he was going to do here. Because as I said, he's one of my favorite directors. And I was really excited to see what kind of movie he was making here, because this is a different type of movie he was making here, because this is a epic sci-fi drama film here, and most of the films he's well known for making over the years are either just like gangster films or like drama films or like war films and various other films he's crafted over the years. And I was really surprised with the amount of stars who were involved with the film here. Like you've got Adam Driver, Nathalie, Emmanuel, Aubrey Plaza, Shia LaBeouf, Laurence Fishburne, Giancarlo Esposito, John Voight, Dustin Hoffman, and many others to name here. And this film came out on the 27th of September this year, which I did see this on opening day, although there wasn't that many people in the screening that I went to for this movie. But after watching this whole movie here, unfortunately, I would say this one did not have the thunder here from Francis Ford Coppola here, because this movie just felt like an absolutely visionary mess of a movie here. The biggest problem I do have with this movie here is the story, because the storytelling here for this film just felt really, really hard to get into here, and yet it also felt really overstuffed here with the amount of subplots that's been thrown into this film here for some of these characters that we do follow within this movie here, and I felt like some of them just didn't even need it to be put into this film here. And yeah, I had absolutely no idea what the film is trying to be here once it gets into the halfway point, because once it gets into that, I tried to wrap my head all the way around to basically know what was going on here, but I just couldn't here. And there were even some scenes here within this movie here that I just felt like they had like no point to be put into this film here, where we see like some of these characters do some of the stupidest things here, and when it came to that, they just come off as just goofy and yet really bonkers here, but not in the good kind of way here, just pretty much in a bad way here. And there are even times where the film does feel a bit like a documentary here, with some of the specific parts that has like brief narrations here as well. And even the film's pacing here just felt really uneven here, because the runtime for the film is 2 hours and 18 minutes, which is the same runtime as Joker for Leia, but I kind of felt it was a bit longer than that here, mostly due to its portions of the storytelling here, which when it came to some of that here, I just found myself kind of bored as I was watching the film here. But when it comes to the performances, Adam Driver, who is the main lead in the film Caesar, I just didn't even know what his character is supposed to be like here, even though he tends to have most of the screen time here since he's the main lead here. But there are often times where we do see him wanting to be an artist, and he wants to bring his own like visionary world to life here. But I wouldn't say Adam Driver is awful here, but I can definitely say he is good in the film here. And everyone else who are in the film here, like you've got Nathalie Emmanuel, Giancarlo Esposito, Aubrey Plaza, Shia LaBeouf, Laurence Fishburne, John Voight, and Dustin Hoffman, and so on. They're all really good here, but the characteristics here just didn't really play off that well here. And when it comes to the direction by Coppola himself, it is pretty nice here to look at here in terms of the production sets and designs here, where we do see like this visionary world that Adam Driver's character is trying to create here. Like there are times where we see like where we're like above like we're on the building. We can see like the down below, like the city and stuff like that. And even I would even say as well that the visuals in this film here are actually kind of impressive here. Although there are times where the film does tend to have some green screen here, and yeah, the green screen is really noticeable here. So yeah, unfortunately, Megalopolis. Unfortunately, this film did not have the thunder here from Francis Ford Coppola himself yet, and I wouldn't say this film is like his next new masterpiece here since like the Godfather movies, or Apocalypse Now, or any of his other films here. And yeah, I can see like why this film is really flopping at the box office here, and everyone's been making this joke already here that this film is pretty much just called just mega flopless here, which I technically have to agree with that here, since honestly this film, I just didn't even know what this film is trying to be here. Because, like I said, this film, it just feels really messy all over the place here. But if you're a fan of Francis Ford Coppola as a filmmaker, or you're a fan of like any of the stars like Adam Driver or anyone who's in the film here, this one might be a cup of tea here. But in all honesty, I just honestly don't even recommend this film in the slightest here. So that's pretty much all I'd say about Megalopolis. I'm going to give Megalopolis 2 out of 5. As I said, this movie unfortunately did not have the thunder from Francis Ford Coppola himself here, which is a really big shame here, because again, he's one of my favorite directors here, but this unfortunately is not his greatest achievement that he has crafted as a director here, unfortunately. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching for my A-Craft review on Megalopolis, and let me know what you think of this movie, if you have seen this already, or if you just recently check this out. Did you find yourself really digging this one, or was this not your cup of tea? As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and this has been Falcon's Media Corner signing off.